Hello, today up for review, we have the Masters of the Universe, Rulers of the Sun crossover 3-pack. It was a Target exclusive. This 3-pack features Holographo, Zapman, and Kikto. I'll be reviewing each of them separately, one at a time. It is worth mentioning that each of these has an extra accessory. With Holographo, I have this holographic looking shield, which is just a translucent spinning top. Over here I have this little game piece, like checkers, poker chip style thing, stuck in this front slot of Kikto's harness, so he has a little bit more protection. And then I have this lightning effect that comes from a Marvel Titan Hero Series Electro that I've had this lightning effect in my collection for a long time, but haven't had any new characters to add the zapping effect to until this Zapman came out. As you can see, I've moved Zapman and Kikto off to the side, and I will be reviewing Holographo first. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and remove this spinning top. Nice little kick like Kikto. Anyway, first of all, I'm going to just go ahead and remove this little sword as well. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. First of all, I'm going to go down and look at his articulation. So his head can look left, and right. It can look up. Actually, it can't look up. Like, there's no change. It can look down a lot. Side to side, like I said. There is some paint scuffing on his face, which is worth mentioning. Has a bunch of white paint scuffing on his face. I don't know exactly what that's from, but there's a closer look at that head sculpt, as well as that chest harness, which does have a holographic lenticular style thing as well. His arms can go forwards, backwards, bend at the elbow, slip at the elbow, hinge at the wrist, spin at the wrist. His legs can go outward, pretty far to the side in a kick. Forwards, a little bit. Backwards will be hindered by that loincloth. He can bend at the knee. Stuck joint. I'm not going to mess with that knee joint right now. He can spin at the boot. He can spin at the knee, bend at the knee. He can spin at the boot cut, bend at the foot on a hinge joint, as well as rock side to side. I'll try the knee on the other side. There we go. So his knee can bend like that. And the other side's exactly the same for arm-wise. I'm going to go ahead and remove this holographic piece from the armor and show how that comes off. So basically how you remove the armor is it has this little peg on the side. Hold on just one second. I should have showed you the peg before I unsnapped it. Give me just a second. Anyway, there we go. So as you can see, there's this peg on the side of his armor. And to remove the armor, you simply snap this first loop off the peg, which undoes the little chest strap part. And then you undo this part, which undoes the waist. And then that whole piece will come off the figure. As you can see, I've removed that armor now. Here's how he looks without the armor. He's got the regular Motu Origins chest. He's got the classic wrist bracers, loincloth, and boots which is indicative of any Rulers of the Sun character, except for Pighead. They all have that exact same wrist bracers, loincloth, and boots set up as like a team symbol, I guess. Now let's look a little bit closer at that armor. So here's the armor off the body. There's the lenticular that I was talking about. Here's the front strap that goes over the chest. And here's the waist strap. And then as you can see, this little piece is removable from the chest strap. So if you don't want that big, goofy looking piece on the chest, you can do without. I'll show how that looks on the figure. So here we have Holographo without that holographic disc, which that actually looks a little bit better in my opinion. That big disc kind of blocks his face in a weird way, and just is a little bit goofy. Now for another close-up of the disc. This little lenticular piece actually is a separate piece, which is removable. It's just like a thin sheet of cardboard with a thin sheet of this like reflective plastic with that nice little grit to it, which will make a sound if you scratch your nail across it. Listen. Yeah, that's nice. The sword also has two parts to it. Let's try to put that. There we go. So we have this nice katana with this big disc that kind of mimics this holographic disc. This one just doesn't have the lenticular on it. And it takes up a lot of space as well. But if you don't want that on the sword, you can simply unclip it. Then you have this nice red katana. Which I personally think the figure looks a little bit better with the katana like this. Just a personal opinion. Now we're going to move on to Zapman. Now as you can see, I still have Kikto off to the side, and I have removed Holographo. He is over here now. And now we're going to focus on Zapman. So, for Zapman's overall look, he's kind of goofy. I'm going to remove this little electric piece. He's got these little electrical towers on his wrists, which are kind of wonky. And he's got this big dome helmet, which is removable. He has the exact same head sculpt as Digitino, which that's a running thing with Rulers of the Sun. They reuse the same heads a lot. There's that little ponytail curl thing, man bun, if you will. There's that head, which is supposed to look kind of like a Latino head, I'm assuming. Even though this particular character, Zapman, is supposed to be an African-American character. But he definitely looks more Latino. Now we're going to just look at his overall armor and aesthetics and take a closer look at the armor off the body as well as the helmet. I'm not going to run down articulation because I already done that with Holographo, and then we'll move on to Kikto. I thought it was worth mentioning before I took a closer look at the armor that these wrist bracers, sorry about that, they are just little clip-on towers, so you don't have to have them. The actual sculpted wrist bracers have a really nice paint job, so you can just pop these off, and then you have a much more normal looking character. But it is worth mentioning that those towers are how he channels his energy and his powers, and they are the only weapons that he comes with. So if you remove those, he's kind of powerless. I went ahead and removed one of his arms so you could get a better look at the strap that holds on the armor. There's one of these on each side of the armor, and you just unclip those and then remove the head, and it just pulls over the body. Here's a quick shot of shirtless Zapman, and here's a close-up on that head sculpt. he definitely has a little bit more of a Latino look to him than African American. I do believe that Kikto and Holographo catch the African American look a little bit better. But skin tone wise, he's a little bit closer to Latino skin tone. Zapman is, which as you can see, he is a similar color to my skin tone. I am not Latino. I do not have anything against Latinos, though. My best friend, well, I think he was Latino. We were best friends for a long time, and I do want to go ahead and say that once again, skin tone wise, he does not really match the African American skin tone, but he is supposed to look African American, but he definitely matches more with the Latino skin tone, kind of like Digitino. They kind of had an issue in this line of matching skin tones properly, because in the artwork, this guy's as dark as Kikto over there, but in figure form, they are not even close. But artwork, they are very, very similar. It is worth mentioning that each of these figures came with a little art card that gave a little bit of a backstory on them. I do not have those for the review. I got this set for Christmas 2023, I do believe. Now here's a closer look at that helmet. It's got some sculpted ridges and this little lip. Kind of looks like a beehive, but it's pretty cool. Kind of gives me a little bit of a Manny Faces vibe to it. Here's a closer look at those little zap towers. Well, one of them. It's got this little electricity effect sculpted on the top of this disc. The tower's got a few rings around the cone shape, and then they got these little balls at the top, and then just this little clip that clips over the wrist. Here's a closer look at the armor. It looks pretty cool. Got these little ridges right here on the front, little smoothed out section right here, some little bumpy dome looking things, which I assume help channel the electricity. Here's another cool sculpted detail on the back. And he's got this little collar on the side which helps the helmet fit, as you can see, like that. I mean, it's not perfect, but it helps it hold on. Like, I'm shaking pretty hard and it's not falling off, so that's pretty decent. Now we're going to move on to Kikto, and then some comparisons with other Rulers of the Sun action figures. Spoiler alert, I do not have any vintage. Now up for review, we have the Origins Kikto figure from the Rulers of the Sun 3-pack. I'm going to go ahead and remove this little poker chip, just a little white disc. You could easily get one probably in a chess set, not a chess, checker set or something like that, or a poker set. Just a simple white chip that fits into this little compartment. So as you can see, he has interesting harness. He's got these little blades all over him, which they are removable. And normally he would have one stored in his chest, but he only comes with 4. And I prefer to have all 4 limbs did up with the discs, and then use that little poker chip to fill in the chest. But that's how that would look. Here's a close-up of the little disc. Just looks like a little sun or a throwing star. I'm going to move that off to the side. I'm just going to pop these off because they kind of do get in the way a little bit. Ooh. It is worth mentioning that these are just hard plastic clip-ons for the leg pieces. So they are easy to come off if you're not careful with how you handle them. Sorry, there's some dust on my figure. I've had this one for like a year now, so. And actually, no, I did not get the set for Christmas. I got it for my birthday. There's a close-up on that head sculpt. He does reuse the head sculpt from the Rulers of the Sun 3-pack, Sunman, as well as Rulers of the Sun 3-pack, Space Sumo, which is the exact same figure as the one that came on Mattel Creations. So it is worth mentioning this head is reused a lot. Got some nice detail. That high top looks pretty nice. Looks a lot like the way it would have looked in the Sun Gold line by Olmec Toys. Not Sun Gold. Sunman line by Wila Toys. Or Olmec Toys. He comes with this little dagger, which it's normally hard to get him to hold it. He normally drops it a lot. It's got a very thin handle, so he has to hold it sideways. If you try to hold it normal, he will drop it. Cool little dagger. So basically, Kikto is just an expert kickboxer. Sorry about that. That has some magical powers from like the Elders or whatever from Rules of the Sun. He just has the same boots as the other characters, just done with white and pink. Same loincloth, once again done in white and pink. I'm going to remove these wrist bracers and the shin guards, and then I'll show you how to remove the armor, and then we'll do some posing with this figure. So how you want to remove these little wrist bracers is you just remove the hand from the peg, and then just slide this piece off, then put the hand back in place. It will fit back on over the hand if you just put the thumb through the slot first, then do a little bit of force, but it's harder to get off that way. It is possible, but it's just easier to pop the hand off. See, it is possible. There's the same wrist bracer, which, in my opinion, that this diamond should have been painted pink to match the diamond on his belt, and maybe the little trim. That's just a little nitpicky personal preference. Like I said, these just snap off. The other wrist bracer is the same. And then I'll show you how to remove that armor. So, now I've removed both the wrist bracers and the leg armor. And I've set the knife off to the side. Also, the knife can be stored here. That is the only place you have for holding the weapon, but it does holster the weapon well, fits nice and tight. So, if you want to do that, that's something you can do. So how you remove this armor is, I spun the figure around, and you see he just has these clips on either side of his chest. So you will simply take this piece and pull it up, and you have to force this around his ears, which that's the only part that really gets caught. Then it just slides over the body, or you could just remove the head because it is on the standard ball joint, just like all the Origins figures. But there's how that removes. Here's shirtless Kikto. Move that off to the side. Close up the armor. It's honestly really boring armor, but it looks pretty cool when it's all on his body. Now we're going to do a quick Kikto kick pose, and show you that he does balance very well. He will fall down eventually, though. There's a nice high kick. Let's bring in Holographo just to show how high. So it's not quite a face kick. More like top of the pec, lower shoulder. But it's still pretty high. I might be able to get it to go a little bit higher. With a little bit of finagling, you can get him to go a little bit higher. As you can see, I have the foot right up to the lip of Holographo. And he is still balancing well with no help. As you can see, like I said, this pose will fall in a display. Doesn't take much. Actually, that's actually doing pretty well. I'm slapping my fist pretty hard. See, now he's lost balance and will fall. But his joints will give out eventually. I found out from doing long picture taking and stuff. He will eventually fall over, but all in all, he's pretty good. You got to be careful getting the legs positioned, though, because the joints sometimes will snap on these Origins figures, especially the knees, which is why with Holographo, I didn't want to force it, because the knees are a problem on these Origins figures, and they will snap. I've had it happen with several of my figures. Some examples are my Master Universe Origins Horde Trooper, my Origins Whiplash, which I got for Christmas a few years ago. Super stoked about that, one of my favorite He-Man characters, and just snapped right at the joint. And now Whiplash is one of the rare figures that are hard to find, so I still do not have an Origins Whiplash in my collection, so that's a right bummer. And I glued the joint on the Scared Glow, but my Origins Scared Glow also broke on the knee joint. He actually took a nosedive off of a dresser, but he did land on carpet, so for his knee to just snap off from a 4-foot drop is a little bit disappointing. I am now taking and putting the armor back to normal on these figures, and then we're going to move on to comparisons and maybe a little group display with the other Rulers of the Sun. I do not have Digitino, which is why I did not bring him in to show that the heads are exactly the same between Zapman and Digitino. I also do not have Boltman or Duplico, but I have the rest. I have Hypno, Space Sumo, and 2 versions of Sunman. So I'll bring those in for comparison. So make sure to like and subscribe. This video is a little bit more jumbled than usual. I normally take less time, and I've rambled a little bit about when it came down to the skin tones and the fact that they didn't match that much. I mean, that is a little bit of an issue for the lore, because they really got the skin tones off. Because the artwork, they're supposed to all match, and just slightly different variations in skin tone shades. And that Zapman, he just really is departure from what he's supposed to be, and fits in a little bit more skin tone wise with characters like Boltman and Digitino. But I do have fun doing these videos, and hope you guys continue to support me by liking and subscribing. Really helps me out on the channel. Right now I'm at 10 subscribers, and my goal is by my birthday, which is August 5th, I hope to have at least 1K subscribers by August 5th. So I hope you guys can help me get to that goal. Just like and subscribe, tell your friends. Leave a comment down below. I will try to respond to some comments occasionally, depending on what the comments are about. Also, yes, Motu forever. I have one comment on my Masters of the Universe Masterverse 2 bad review, and indeed, Motu forever. I'm going to bring in Hypno, which I did take Hypno's bird, and I painted it up and changed it and used it for a custom, so he does not have his little Silver Hawk or whatever it was supposed to be. It was definitely just a chromed out Silver Hawk. Not to be confused with Silver Hawks. Kind of looked like Tallyhawk in all honesty from Silver Hawks though. But here is the figures alongside the other Rulers of the Sun that are in my collection. So here we have it. We have the exclusive Sunman, which uses that exact same head as the Kikto. I bought him loose out of the set because the pig head is basically the exact same figure, just some metallic paint job. And the Space Sumo is exactly the same as the Mattel Creation exclusive that I already got. Here's Hypno, Zapman, Holographo Kikto, Space Sumo, and First Release Sunman, which he was actually a birthday gift for my 13th birthday a few years ago, so that was pretty cool. I got him gifted to me by my uncle at a Michael Jackson concert. Michael Jackson tribute. They actually had a Michael Jackson imitator, and he did really, really good. It was an awesome night. But yeah, I just showed you how the heads are exactly the same on the Space Sumo. Now I'm going to bring in Pighead, the solitary pig-headed demon. I'll also be bringing in Pighead in a upcoming review because my Christmas haul video will be uploaded hopefully Christmas Day or the day after, and if not by then, it'll be hopefully by the end of the week or through the weekend. Also, I'll be doing a review of the new Thundercats Super 7 vintage collection. I ordered all three. I did the 3-pack bundle for $90. Ended up totaling at a little bit over $107 with shipping and handling, tax, and all. So, is it worth it? We'll find out then. It should be arriving either by Christmas or the day after, according to the shipping notice. Normally, my packages do show up a little bit late. My Funko Primal Age DC figure ended up showing up 3 weeks late from Amazon. But I ordered directly from Super7.com, so hopefully the shipping will be pretty nice. And I chose FedEx as my shipper. And it's supposed to be shipped within 5 business days. So that would be Christmas Day, but I doubt that it will arrive on Christmas Day. That'd be a great thing, though. Now we're going to compare this characters from the 3-pack with a Masterverse Rulers of the Sun figure. Size comparison, I'm using Holographo. Here's how he scales with the Masterverse Pighead. They also released Sunman, and those are the only Rulers of the Sun characters that I believe they were released for Masterverse. I'm pretty sure the partnership with Olmec Toys and Wila Sun is officially over, but here's how they scale. This Pighead is a really, really cool figure. Definitely spot on. Has all the details you'd want. And definitely a better head sculpt than the Origins one, which was a little bit oversized and toonish. But that's pretty cool. So that is my overall review of the Masters of the Universe, Rulers of the Sun crossover, Sunman 3-pack Target exclusive from Mattel.